So we are currently going to record this. So just to give you a little bit of an overview of what we're going to be doing, we wanted, as the SIGs, we wanted us all to get together and kind of share resources or ideas that we thought might be helpful right now. We all four of us come from different perspectives and work with different projects, but are all very much on the idea of trying to provide high quality services and find and help migrant students. And so I'm going to turn the time over to Bill. He'll be the first one. And if each one of the presenters can maybe say just a tiny bit about yourself, and that way you can, work within your time of what you want to share. I am going to be the slide changer, so just tell me whenever you want me to change the slide, and I'll make sure that I do that.
Thank you, Jessica. If you can go ahead and go with the first slide. My name is Dr. Bill Vansberg. I work in the Miracore Consortium, and we do the development of the products in Miracore. Miracore is the consortium that focuses on reading and the development of reading resources, both assessment and curriculum for migrant students, and they can be used for any students. And so the Miracore Consortium created something called the Migrant Literacy Net. If you go next, Jessica. And the Migrant Literacy Net has a lot of resources, all of which are free and that anyone can use, and then go online. You can create your own login and username and go ahead and use all the resources. These resources lend themselves, the focus of what I wanted to talk about today is how these resources can be used for home instruction and shelter in place. Due to the COVID-19 virus, there's obviously an interest in any kind of resources that can be used at home. And so I'd like to cover that quickly. I have a bunch of slides, but I'm going to go through them very quickly and just let you know that if anybody's interested, there is a training webinar, and I will give you the link, and you can simply just click the link and watch the webinar. And it'll give you all the instruction that hopefully you need. And if not, you can always contact me. My contact information is part of that. If you would go to the next slide, Jessica. The resources available on the Migrant Literacy Net, there's a wide variety of resources. There are activities for parents to assist their children directly with reading skills, fun activities that they can do to learn all different kinds of aspects of reading. In addition to that, there are hundreds of pages of lessons in reading, writing, math, and study skills that the Blackline Masters and parts of the activities of those lessons can be, they're set up for teachers, but they can be repurposed so that parents can actually use them for home instruction in all of those areas. In addition to that, there are on the Migrant Literacy Net, there are reading screeners, which kids can take, that are designed for kids preschool all the way up through grades 12, which can identify kids' reading needs. And they specifically, once they identify the reading needs, the screeners will automatically assign tutorials to online tutorials to kids to meet those needs. And all of the screeners and the tutorials are in English and Spanish. There's over 300 online reading tutorials in both English and Spanish, targeting the 5 dimensions of reading: phonics, phonemic awareness, vocabulary, fluency, and comprehension, at both the emergent level and the developmental level. Emergent level would be preschool through grades 2. Developmental level would be grades 3 and higher. All of the resources, and this is key, can be accessed, of course, with a PC or a tablet, but the system was redesigned last year so that it can be used effectively with a smartphone. And that's really important. A lot of migrant families may not have PCs or tablets, but many of the families have smartphones. And the system is set up so that it can be accessed. So you don't necessarily even need Wi-Fi. As long as you have cellular telephone service, you can access the online screeners and tutorials. Kids can. And teachers can set up success plans for the screeners and the tutorials, and they assign you set up a success plan with all your students that you want to assign screeners and tutorials to, and then those screeners and those online tutorials can be taken anywhere there's Wi-Fi or cellular service. Teachers can also email or provide parent activities, of which there are many other activities from the Migrant Literacy Net to assist the kids. If you go to the next slide, Jessica. Okay, steps. And this is kind of I'm going to give you kind of the quick overview of the steps of what you would do if you want to use the Migrant Literacy Net. Everybody on here will get copies of this PowerPoint when we're done here. But and I would encourage anybody who's really interested to go online and go through the training webinar that'll give you more specifics on this. But we basically put it in 7 steps. The first step is to go online to the Migrant Literacy Net, and there's the URL, www.migrantliteracynet.com. Create your own username and password. That's number 2. 3, create success plans for each of the students that you want to impact. Assign online screeners, and you assign them directly from the success plans, right on the success plan. So you can simply assign those to kids based on reading level, and the screeners will then identify the kids' reading needs. Then you provide the system will, as soon as you assign a screener or a tutorial to a student, the system automatically assigns usernames and passwords for those kids. So they can go online anywhere and take the screeners and access the tutorials. The system itself will automatically assign online tutorials in English or Spanish based on the results of the screener, or the teachers themselves can choose additional tutorials to assign. In addition to that, there's a lot of other resources on the Migrant Literacy Net that teachers can email or provide parents information on how to support their kids. Next slide, please, Jessica. Okay, just to quickly show you what it looks like, and this is, as I just said, described in much more detail in the online training. But you go online, when you first go online, this is what the home screen looks like. You click on Teacher Access as a teacher, and you can create your own username and password. Next slide, Jessica. Once you get online, the teacher home screen looks like what's on the left there. You would click on Success Plans, and then you can create a success plan for each student that you want to provide home instruction for. The success plan really has 3 parts. It's a demographic part, which is just general information on the student. There's a middle part, where you assign screening tools, and then there's the bottom part in which you assign tutorials. Tutorials have pre-tests and post-tests. So you'll be able to see student progress for each of these tutorials. You can do a search for tutorials if you want to look for them yourself by simply typing in the search box anything you want to look for. If you want to teach the letter G, type in G, or the letter G. If you want to teach prediction and reading, type in prediction. And these will be structured based on different levels. So you can make some choice. Now the screeners will actually pick, and based on how students answer, they will actually be able to assess what exact tutorials the kids need, and it will automatically assign it to them. Okay, so you start by completing success plan for kids. Next slide, Jessica, please. And then you would assign them screeners, and this would be a teacher choice based on your knowledge of the kids and what you think they might need. If they're beginning readers, you would assign them screeners from the either in English or Spanish. At the emergent level, if they're 3rd grade or higher, you would assign them from the developmental level. And the screeners are divided by area. So it's, phonics, phonemic awareness, vocabulary, fluency, and comprehension. And each screener, the longest screener the longest screener we have averages about 14 minutes, and that's in Spanish. Most of them are shorter than that. So the kids go through the screeners. When the kids actually, if a kid misses 3 items in a row, the screener will stop them, and then it will assign tutorials based on how far they got. Each of these screeners starts at an elementary level of questioning and then moves up and gets more complex. So they kind of build, so you can see where the kids are. So we just don't want kids getting frustrated. So they stop the kids after they miss 3 items in a row. If you go to the next screen, Jessica. Okay, once they've taken the screeners will automatically assign tutorials to the kids, and they'll automatically also create usernames and passwords for the kids. The students would log on, and once they get this password, they can take that screener and go to the next screen, if you would, Jessica. And then what would happen is, as soon as they take the screeners, tutorials automatically get assigned. So kids can start those tutorials and take them and go through. All of the tutorials have graphics and audio and a pre-test and a post-test. So any the progress of the kids can be monitored by the teachers. Teachers can then assign additional screeners based on how the kids do. All of these are supplemental tools. They would be used in addition to whatever other tools you're using and other kinds of instruction you might be using, but these build on. This is not a scope and sequence curriculum. What this is a curriculum that is designed to pinpoint missing discrete skills, target those, and give some instruction in those particular areas. So that's the point of the Migrant Literacy Net, and that's why it's built for migrant students. And you can see, if you go to the next slide, Jessica, once the kids take the tutorials, there will be a pre-test to post-test score that's posted on their plan, so the teachers can go look at that, and they can see how the kids have progressed based on that, and they can also make additional decisions where, if they want to, they can assign another screener, or the teachers can assign additional tutorials. Okay, those are the online screeners and tutorials. In addition to that, there's also online resources on the Migrant Literacy Net that you can pick out specifically for parents. And you can email them to them, or you can provide them to them in whatever fashion is reasonable. But what you would do is you go back to the teacher screen, click on Parent Resources, and there's all kinds of parent resources to help teach reading. You know, creating tongue twisters, using alliteration, comparing beginning sounds of words. These are all activities that teachers are designed so that parents can use this with their own children. We have all of these activities in both English and Spanish. If you go to the next slide, Jessica. In addition to that, there are hundreds of lessons. These are designed for the classroom, but all of these lessons include Blackline Masters. And so these are things that you can pull activities and different kinds of things, supplemental things that you may want, that you can provide to parents so that they can also use them with their kids. We have, you know, there are reading lessons, there are math lessons, there are writing lessons, etc. So all of that exists in addition to the online screeners and the online tutorials. So those are things, if you familiarize yourself with the Migrant Literacy Net, you have access to all of these resources. All of them are public domain. All of them have been developed by the states involved in this consortium, by master teachers, and all of them have been field tested. They're all based on current research. And so what you've got
For some reason, I'm not hearing you, Bill. Is anybody else hearing? I just, all of a sudden it went. Okay, Bill, we can't hear you for a second. You're right there at the end. I think we all. Okay. So there was a couple of questions. Maybe we'll give them a second just to get back in. We will be recording this for everybody. And it says, can we assign lessons? I'm pretty sure you can assign lessons. I'm sure Bill will be able to address that. Maybe what we can do is take a look at, I believe he's on his last screen. Okay, Barbie says, unmute me and I can help. Let me see if I can do that. Let me find you. Give me just a second. I'm gonna find Barbie badge. I tell you what, why don't we we'll come back. So let's go ahead and Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next one, and then Bill, are you back at all? Okay, so we'll move on to the next one and then we'll come back. So we can, because he's got just a couple more slides. If he connects in the next couple seconds, then we'll make sure that we can get back. And in the meantime, I'll try to figure out how to get Barbie so she can speak. And so here's a couple more of his slides, but we will come back to that. And then, so Michelle, do you want to go ahead and jump in, and then Bill can finish up a little bit later on?
Thanks, Jessica. So I'm Michelle Cheney. I'm the coordinator for the Preschool Initiative. We've got 9 core member states in the consortium. We've got a focus on getting 3 to 5-year-old migratory preschool-age children more and/or improved school readiness services. And not only do we focus on materials and activities for the children, but we have materials and resources for the service providers, for professional learning, and also for the parents. Moving forward, Jessica.
Can you be a little bit louder at all?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I can try. I'm using my inside voice. Is that better?
Yes, much better.
So today I'm going to share some of the resources that we've developed, as well as other fun and helpful sites and services. And if you would, after this webinar, take a few minutes to visit our website at preschoolinitiative.org. There you'll find the resources that I'm highlighting today that we developed, as well as many other things that we have. As I mentioned, those presentations or professional learning opportunities for service providers. We have policy papers, and we're always updating the site with new things. So moving forward, Jessica, the very first thing that I want to highlight is a resource called Developing Language and Literacy at Home. This is a multi-page document. It's intended to be used by service providers with parents. It explains different facets of language and literacy development that can take place during everyday life. So you see here an example of one of our pages in this document. It focuses on reading with children daily, using a number of different materials. It also provides before, during, and after reading questions. We want to help children set an intention for reading and engage them throughout the process. And what's really nice about this is there's also a step-by-step facilitator's guide on our website right next to the resource. So you can download it, or your service providers can download it, look through the facilitator's guide, which matches each of the sections in this resource, and it provides that service provider a number of different ways to present the information to the parents. All right. And this is one of my favorite things that the Preschool Initiative states did. So last year we put together learning kits, and each state received a number of these learning kits.
Michelle, can you go super loud again? Sorry.
I'm sorry. It must be my sound. So last year we put together a number of these learning kits to send to each of our member states. Each kit contained these 3 books and 4 activity cards. And so you see an example of one of the activity cards. Our 4 activity cards were in English and Spanish. There were 2 activities on language and literacy development and 2 on numeracy. And in addition to the books and the activity cards, each kit contained all of the materials needed for the children to carry out the activities. So what happened with these is the service providers went to each of the homes. This was an in-home service that was provided with the kids, and it was demonstrated for parents also who sat in on the lessons so that they could carry on these activities with any books after the service provider left. Both the learning kits and that developing language and literacy document that we just talked about really can be supported in a number of different ways. So these can be executed from a safe social distance if people are still going to the migratory families' homes, but maybe staying outside at a safe distance, or they can be delivered virtually so that the parents can better understand how to help their kids. And if you want to flip to the next slide, Jessica.
Yeah, you're fading out again though. Sorry, being a pest.
Let me see what I can do.
Okay.
Is this a little bit better?
Yes.
Okay. So here we've got some examples. One of the activities was to sort foam shapes by color, size, shape, or a combination of factors depending on how old the child was. and then to recreate a character or part of the scene from one of the books using those foam pieces. One of the other activities was to create puppets using the paper bags and the construction paper, glue, and so on. And then these were later used to help retell parts of the story. And so you might hear the kids talk about Gerald going to the jungle dance, and then we can prompt them what happened when he got there, and the kids can play it out with their puppets. All right. I do want to make a shout out to Idaho, who took the notion of the learning kits and went on to create their own across grade levels, across ages, that they used for summer service. And so they took this idea, this template, and then went on to create more lessons, activities with a whole bunch of different books for a number of children at different ages and stages. And so that was really fantastic to see them do that. As we're thinking about books, I want to just point out this site, First Book Marketplace. If you're not familiar with it, it's fantastic. They have a number of books at deeply discounted prices, and you can sort the site by price, by age, by topic. And so if you haven't seen it, please just take a quick look, and you'll see a number of things at different age levels and in a number of different languages, particularly Spanish. All right, and Jessica? So specific to COVID, the Center for Child Stress and Health out of Florida State University has some wonderful materials, but specifically put together this dual storybook coloring book that helps to explain the coronavirus. It's free and downloadable from their website. And what you see is Gabrielle and Jelly, who returned to Immokalee to find that school was closed because of the COVID virus. And Mrs. Nectar, their teacher, explains about it and provides some suggestions for how to stay healthy. And so you'll see a page in there about washing your hands and avoiding touching your face and staying at home and staying at a safe distance. This is really nice because it's interactive. It's several pages where the kids can react and draw and say what they think and make personal connections. And so this is just a fantastic thing to explain what's happening in a way that's understandable and not scary for younger children. Okay. This Ready for K was a fantastic resource that I came across, and actually just had a more in-depth conversation with the company this morning about what they can offer. So what it is a set of text messages that you can sign up your migrant families for, and they go out by grade and age level. So they serve birth through 4th grade students and families. And they do it in a number of different domains. So health and physical science, math or physical development, math and science, social emotional, literacy, approaches to parenting, and then there's a trauma-informed unit also. And when you sign up a family for these text messages, they'll get a text on Monday that provides some basic information or a fact. And what you see here are some examples in front of you for the different ages and the different domains. Then on Wednesday, they get a tip fact. And so that's an activity to do with the child. And then on Friday, they get a text with a growth or an extension activity. And then there's also some local community support that's provided here. They have a team of people that will research and put together some resources on state and local community agencies, resources, referrals, and so forth that might help the population that we're talking about, our migrant students and families. And some fun sites. So here's a place where you can go to find a number of virtual field trips. I will say that these are at a variety of age and grade levels, so please screen them appropriately for the folks that you want to push these out to. But they do provide some opportunities for really rich discussion and interaction on a number of different topics. Parents can select the ones that are of interest to their child that you send them. Most of the sites offer tours through videos and then accompanying activities, worksheets, do at home kinds of things to support the learning, and the inquiry. And just a lot of fun. The videos are absolutely positively beautiful. Like you can take a tour of the San Diego Zoo and see the animals one at a time and learn a little bit more about their habitat and what they eat and how they interact and whatnot. And so a lot of fun for the kids. And then lastly, I think quarantine or staying at home is made much happier by music. So I strongly recommend that you check out Emily Arrow's videos. They range from about 25 to 30 minutes typically and are filled with songs, ukulele or guitar playing, and that all-important story time. She definitely knows young learners, and she provides fun, interactive ways for the kids to get involved through sing-alongs and interaction with the books as she's reading. Those are just a few of the highlights that I had for you today, and I hope these resources provide your service providers and or the parents with ways to support children and spend time with those kids throughout the day during this, I guess, this time of uncertainty and our change to approach in teaching. So thank you.
There are a couple questions just of certain things, like where are the websites. So just for everybody, we will be posting these on the GoSoci site and the IRC site. I don't know if PI will also have it on their website, but we will also put the presentation file, and in the presentation file you can click and it will take you to the links.
Yes, so we will put all of this on our website, starting with the presentation. And
So,
if anybody wants to shoot me an email, I'd be happy to send information to you directly or talk to you, so that's fine too.
okay. So maybe what we'll do now is we'll go to Tracy, and then after Tracy, we'll switch back to Bill. So Bill, I do have you as one of the panelists now, so when we're ready for that, I'll just unmute you so that you can go ahead and do that. So I don't know that we'll be sending everything via email of the chat box, but if you want, I will go ahead and get these. If you'll put your emails in there and you want it, I will try my best to get that. What's the name of the singer they said? Emily? It is Emily Arrow. Okay.
I'm here talking to myself, Jessica. I had already muted my phone.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Emily Arrow.
Perfect. All right, so we'll switch over to Tracy.
Hello, I'm Tracy Kalick. I'm the director of GoSoci. And first of all, I want to thank everyone for attending today. I see there's about 400 folks on, and I really greatly appreciate you giving us your time. For those of you who don't know, GoSoci is what's typically referred to as the OSY Consortium. So we support states to build capacity to address the needs of the growing secondary-age migrant out-of-school youth population. Our consortium has 17 member states. Our lead state is Kansas, and our lead state director is Doug Boleen. We also reach more than 7,000 OSY annually, and if you have not been on our website, we have over 100 free resources. If you go to the next slide, Jessica, you will see our web address has not changed. It's still osYmigrant.org, but everything else on the website has changed. We are now web responsive. We have tried to simplify everything in terms of menu, how you find materials, and we still have a keen focus on supporting OSY in regards to math, reading, English instruction, support for life skills. But we also have a new and very engaging approach to addressing trauma-informed support and the mental health needs of our OSY. So if you have, I don't have time to dig into the website and show you everything. I'm just going to pinpoint a couple of things today that you can begin using, but please check out the rest of the resources because a lot of them are truly invaluable. So as I mentioned, the new website is user-friendly, and we try to make sure it's responsive to provider and student needs. And it should look the same, and I'm very excited about this, for our students who have mobile phones or iPads or tablets or Chromebooks. It will look the same. It will be easy to use. So please make sure you share that information. Next slide. I wanted to make sure that you also knew that we have taken very real steps to support our service providers and students through this COVID-19 crisis. We have a Padlet full of resources. These are very timely resources that talk about how to support students remotely. There's a lot of COVID-19 information. We have it in multiple languages for parents, for students. So please check that out. I will be talking about our webinars, but I do want to highlight the self-care assessment, which is on there. We spend a lot of time, as I mentioned, working through how we can engage students to address mental health needs. But we also, on the flip side, need to ensure that we're addressing the needs of our service providers. So we do spend a lot of time talking about self-care and providing professional development around that. And so there are some self-care assessments on that, on the Padlet, as well as a self-care plan. So I'll have you go to the next slide. We know that many states and service providers are really anxious at this time for any information and materials to support our students, and really taking a look at how we can focus on using virtual instruction to support students. This has been a big priority, and if you were able to attend any of the webinars we've had in recent weeks, you'll see we devoted a webinar, on working remotely with students, where we not only walk you through how to instruct virtually, we share with you the tools and dig in with how to use them. All of these webinars are posted on the GoSoci website. So take a look. I also want to mention, since I talked about trauma and supporting staff and students, we have a webinar on the effects of COVID-19 on students and service providers. All of these webinars are recorded. You can access them on the website. But this one in particular, I think, is very powerful for you to work through with your staff. So I would encourage you to take a few minutes and watch the webinar, participate in it, and check out those resources around self-care. The next slide, oops, go back, details upcoming webinars. So we'll be sending this out, and Jessica and I both use Constant Contact to send information out. If you're not receiving this, please send me an email and I will be happy to get you included in our web blast so you have all the up-to-date information. But we're going to be presenting on OSY Relationship Building and Engagement, which is our newest resource. We also realize that a lot of our service providers are not as adept with a lot of the instructional technology out there. So since we have developed new materials that use these instructional technology, we decided that it would probably be a good idea to provide you with support on how to use Edpuzzle, Quizlet, etc. And so that's coming up on May 22nd. And then lastly, because it's been so successful, we have really focused on goal setting over the last few years in development of learning plans. And we've talked about how to use this and develop a lesson plan around embedding goal setting, the development of a learning plan with other instructional support, like our life skills lessons, Finanza for math, etc. So I encourage you to attend our next webinar. So I do also, I made mention about focusing in on these instructional technologies, but that's also why it's such a critical priority for us to provide professional development so you all can do your jobs more effectively and efficiently. And I would encourage you to go to the professional development page on the website, which has multiple modules in regard to instructing better, differentiation, etc. Please check those out as well. So if you go to the next slide, we also really took a moment to provide links and QR codes to our audio resources. If you have not utilized any of these, I would encourage you to do so. All of it is linked to our life skills lessons, and we have extensions or enhancements that students can download themselves onto an SD card. They can download it onto, I know it's kind of antiquated, but an MP3 player. They can listen to it on their phones. And these are direct enhancements that link to the materials. So we have mental health. We have a lot of the English language lessons on there for your health, which is a priority as well. So take a look at those. But in a moment, if you just go to the next slide, I want to show you, and if you would like to receive this, this is going to be posted on our website soon. but if you'd like it in a direct link, I'd be happy to share it with you. What we did is we provided a QR code for all of our online resources for summer services. So this goes through every audio file, every enhancement we have, and there are multiple ones. So I encourage you, if you're interested, I'd be happy to send that to you. The next slide. I made mention about our English for daily life lessons. As I said, there was a webinar earlier and it's posted on the website, but I want to talk about how effective these resources are for helping students learn to navigate, number one, the website, the technology there, but we have 6 lessons right now, and they were all designed around needs that our states had. So if you take a look, we have emergencies, banking and numbers, your health, car parts and insurance, which is a very popular course there, in your community, how to find information about where you live, etc. And then the last lesson is on navigating a grocery store and shopping. And this lesson, one thing that I do need to mention is on each of these, there is a language widget, which will translate the English text on the page in front of a student into whatever language they select. The shopping lesson, the lesson design, really focuses on vocabulary in English with flashcards, the use of Kia, Quizlet, Edpuzzle, the use of games and conversation in context, and there are multiple ways to do comprehension checks. We will be hosting, as I said, a webinar in conjunction with the grocery store and shopping lessons that talk about how to use Edpuzzle, how to use Quizlet. So I do want to encourage you to attend that. I just have, I know I'm pressed for time, so I'll just go through the next few slides fairly quickly, and I know these will be available, but we sent out a survey recently to our member states to gauge what they are doing in terms of what they're using from our website, from our materials, and what sort of innovative practices are they using. So I just wanted to share a few highlights. Go ahead. So the first question, we really wanted to know what GoSoci products were being used and that states were finding useful, knowing that we're not out visiting students face to face. The top 3 were audio resources, English for daily life, and goal setting. But as you can see, there are multiple other resources that are being utilized. Next slide. We got similar results when we asked about how states were adapting to use these resources in a virtual way. And goal setting is easily adaptable to a virtual setting, as well as sharing multiple resources from the COVID-19 Padlet and English for daily life. I want to skip the next one and then go to what our states are sharing in terms of a success story, because I think that's a nice way to end my portion of the presentation. But we asked, can you please share a success story from the past few weeks? And I just wanted to put that out in front of you that states are Zooming and using the GoSoci COVID-19 Padlet. They're sharing free resources within the community. They're also providing virtual instruction and using multiple virtual instruction from our website. So, questions at this point? I don't see any in the Padlet. If I've missed anything, let me know.
There was one about the widget. Do you want me to go to the website real quick?
Yeah, can we show that? Do we have enough time to do that, Jessica?
Yeah, let me do that really quick.
It's really fun.
And then you can kind of see, if you go to the student page, right here, there's a little thing that I can pick whatever language.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can, let's just pick. And it will reload if my computer's not too slow. And it takes a little bit, and it will start changing whatever. Go ahead, Tracy, I'm talking on yours.
You're doing a really good job, thanks. One thing I wanted to point out, which I'm very excited about, is we have a student-specific page on the website. Has the widget, which is really useful, but one thing that we're trying to do is to provide positive modeling for our students. And so we will be sharing over the next few months multiple success stories. And if you all have success stories of out-of-school youth in your state, please send them to you. We would love to highlight your students. But we will be doing that. And then if you want to scroll down, Jessica, we do have the specific COVID-19 information that would be applicable to students, and then the direct link to English for Daily Life. We are still in the process of adding resources to the student page, but I think we have a great start. And I hope your students find it useful, and keep checking back because we are adding new information really daily, aren't we, Jessica?
Yes. One comment, you guys, there's so many of you, and I really worry that I'm going to get this chat box list and you're all going to be wanting different things. Why don't I have all the panelists type in their emails, and if it was something specific that you wanted from GoSoci, if you will reach out to Tracy, and I will also show you really fast where this will be for sure housed, so that you can know where to go. I know on GoSoci there's a what's new page, and so they've got recent webinars, and also on the very front page, if you scroll down, the new ones will be on there. And I'll address IRC in just a second, but I want to go back to Bill, so make sure that he gets the time to, Bill, if you want to, I don't know if he can unmute himself, but I'll show you that in the end, because I'm afraid if you put all your emails that one of you is going to say, I never got anything. So if you'll reach out to us, I know you keep putting your emails in, but like I said, there are over 400, and we will put the links, we'll put our emails if everybody can put their emails in.
Please go ahead and email us. We'll be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, so I am going to see if I can get Bill, if I can unmute him just real quick. Bill, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Okay, can you hear us still? Bill, you still there? I think.
Can you hear me, Jessica?
Yes, we can. Okay, so let me go back up to where you were, just so that you can kind of finish out and they can get your information. Let's see if I can go back. If I can get there. I think we were right about here. Is that about right? Can you see, Bill? I can't hear, now I can't hear you. Now, Bill, you back? Okay, I don't hear Bill. Barbie, you do have the option to unmute yourself. I can unmute you if you want to share some information.
Hi, can you hear me now, Rachel? I mean,
yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I was just talking to Rachel on the phone because there's been so many great ideas that we want to share. I think Bill talked about this one, so this one, he was on what he was on when we talked about the home instruction, and that's the Join Me page, so that people can go and hear the webinar that's about using this instructions at home, because a lot of even like the school districts, Title I and so forth, are using this. Next page. Alan from Hawaii created this for students to use the screening tool, and then Rachel from New Hampshire translated it into Spanish, just a way that some schools were keeping track of what lessons kids were doing and on their own, because even though teachers can see what the students are doing and what they've accomplished and when they completed it, the students weren't seeing that at home. So this was just a page they created. Next page. So we use this with children and with parents. The first slide's just for staff, summary, and then for migratory parents in Spanish and English. All of these are in Spanish and English. Next page. This is Bill and Alice's contact information, where you can get more information. And If you have time at the end, Jessica, maybe you can go to the Migrant Reading Literacy Net just to show people what it looks like. But why don't you finish up?
Okay. I'm a fast talker though, and I feel like they've been listening to me so much. So I'm gonna just go to show real quick just so that they can make sure they see that. So when you go to, it's just migrantliteracy.net. It looks very similar to what he got, your student access and your teacher access. So
Right,
you've got that up.
perfect.
So if I could ask Tracy and Michelle to put your email in the chat box too, just so that you have it, so everyone has it. I'll put mine down.
And I'll put Bill's.
I put mine. I hope you can see it.
Okay, so if you can take a look at that. Okay, so I'm gonna finish up. Like I said, I feel like you guys hear me all the time because a lot of you have been, I was telling the group earlier as I go find my slides, I got on here at about 10 o'clock this morning because I was totally messed up because we've been doing these on Tuesday mornings. And so I'm thankful for all the other consortium directors that were willing to come in and share. I think we all have so many different resources that are really helpful for everyone, but a lot of times we're just not aware of it. So IRC, as many of you know, the focus is IDNR, and so our role is to try to improve IDNR in states. And so I feel like with the COVID-19, with everything that's gone on with the pandemic, we've kind of had to share. Someone just had a quick question that said, are these resources free or available to non-members? We have all kind of gone to efforts to make sure that these things are all available to all. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about a tool that's going to be available and limited, because we're still kind of in the pilot process with IRC states. But just as a reminder, this webinar will be recorded and put on the IRC page, a webinar page. So if you go to the home page, you'll see several different things. And right here, there's just a quick thing that says, see upcoming past webinars. We always put our new ones that are coming up, and then we always record the ones that have been that we just did. So that's hopefully it'll, there's things that are helpful to you and you can go back. And we also put the presentation files with that also. So one thing that we're doing completely new is we have a new referral tool. The idea is a lot of us are using occupational survey tools with our schools, or as a way to find out if they're eligible families or to possibly get referrals. We have a new tool that we have just barely created. We've used it and piloted it and made a new upgrade. And we are going to be giving a webinar on this tool. For our IRC states, they have complete access to this. But basically, referrals can be, we have a direct link that you could provide a farmer, a school, maybe a community agency that says, hey, if you think someone might be eligible, here's a link. You can go to this link. And there they can just put basic information, no student name or anything that's identifiable for the student, but just parent information, address, phone number, if they're interested. And then you can actually assign a recruiter in the area that the family is located at to get a notification when that comes to them. And so right now we're really kind of starting to use it really good with IRC. It's brand new, but we feel like normally we would probably just keep it within IRC and not let other states use it quite yet until we had worked everything out. But we feel like it's a really good tool that maybe we should kind of help everybody at this time. We're going to allow all the non-IRC states to have 3 accounts that they can set up and try it out. If you get to know it and you really like it and you want to expand it, that definitely is not out of the question. And then, so that next week, next Tuesday at 10 in the morning Central Time, we are going to do a complete training on what this system is, how to use it, how to access it, how to put the referrals in, how we think it could be used, kind of, suggestions working with agribusiness or with farmers. And so that we're excited about that. Another project we're really excited about is GoSoci. We were able to reach out with Tracy, and we share a lot of the same states, and we had the idea that one of the challenges we have right now is how do we reach out to farms, how do we reach out to agribusiness, how do we provide services in this new situation that's a little bit different. And we had the idea that we could come up with a supply bag that has things that families might have a hard time getting, like face masks, for example, and gloves, and a super large bandana. We know how much families love bandanas if they're working out in the fields. But the idea is It would have some materials about how to stay safe in the pandemic, but also have, you know, materials that would be helpful right now. So not quite your regular hygiene kit, but so it's going to have face masks, large supersized bandanas, these materials, and we're doing a pilot with all of our IRC and GoSoci states that basically they'll get their bags mailed out this week, and they're going to try to use them as a way to reach out to families. And in it, we have two different things. One is the COVID-19 materials, but another one in collaboration with GoSoci is we have all of those online, a lot of links to those online tools that families can actually click in and see those English for daily life, or they can, you know, view different materials. We've got the QR codes plus the web address. So if you were a recruiter and you had these bags, you could say, hey, I'm going to mail you something. When you get it, it's got some supplies to help you out. But there's also some direct links of some websites and materials you can use in your home. Iowa has an awesome student portal that has just some really cool things in there. And so the links to that are there. But the idea is, what can we do to kind of, if I'm reaching out to a farm and the farmer says, you can't come right now, I can say, well, one thing we're providing is, you know, these bags. And so if you have someone that might be eligible, we can mail them to them, we can drop them off, whatever it is that your state can work with. So we did, just as of today, put these so they can be ordered. If we get too many orders and we can't handle it, then we may just, you know, reach out and say, hey, this is how you do it. But at this time, we're trying to take as many as we can. We've got some unemployed people that are right now kind of putting them together for us. And so we hope that this will be a resource, and we're grateful to GoSoci and partnering with us. So these are just things that we feel. They are $12 plus $1.50 shipping. And so you can go to the site. I believe if you click on this, if you wanted to find it on the website and you're thinking, okay, where do I go? You can go to what's new, or you can just look under this COVID-19 section, and we have here where it says, you know, how you can order it. We do have it linked through PayPal, so it's secure, but you can also use any credit card. We are only accepting credit cards because we don't want to get stuck in the billing business where we pay for a bunch of supplies and send it out, and then we're waiting. So these do have to be paid first, and then we'll ship them out as fast as we can. So this is a project we're doing together, and we hope that it will be helpful. This just kind of came together at the last minute, and just thinking we want to do something to help. And so we feel like using the electronic tool and using these bags is a way that might help recruiters a little bit. And right now we currently have it open for everybody. If you're interested in bags, I'm just telling you, so the IRC and the GoSoci states all got 100 bags if they were interested for free, and we're mailing them out on Friday. Unless they wanted less, and then others, if they want to come back and buy more, they can. And we just currently have it open to everyone because we really feel like the more that we all recruit, the more that we all work together during this time, the more it helps the program in general. But if we get too many, I will gladly share, this is exactly how we're doing. We can't handle this, and you can either know how to do it yourself. But we are going to try to handle as many as we possibly can. So let me go to the next slide. Just those of you that are brand new, and this is the first time you've seen it, we do try on the IRC website to put new information every day. Sometimes you're supposed to document, right now my computer's really slow, document like why numbers are certain ways, and we're trying to provide just information and news articles that are happening right now. And so this is updated daily, except for on the weekends because I don't pay attention to this. And so you can kind of see, you know, everything here that's available, but we put new news articles as they come about. Let's see. And again, we mentioned the archive webinars. So I think it says,
Jessica, wait, before you sign off, in the chat box, I am sending out a link to the evaluation for today. So
yes.
We would love to have you all just do a quick survey for us, and it helps us when we report what we're doing and how well we're doing to OME. And if there's a way we can send it out in a different fashion, let me know. So thank you, Jessica.
Yeah, no problem. Now, someone just asked if the bags are free. No, they are not free. Only the GoSoci and the IRC state members, as a pilot project, they were given bags free because we wanted to see how useful it would be. And then we also wanted to know what the actual price would be, so that through that process, we could take a look at, okay, if you're going to make 2,000 bags, what does it cost to get all these different items in bulk? And how can we come up with a reasonable price that we know that this will be the price, and we can, you know, consistently say that. So we do not offer these for free, other than the states that have already know about it. They've already got, you know, where they're going, and those will be mailed out Friday. And so we really hope this is helpful for all. So I think we have about 5 minutes left. If someone had any question that you can kind of think of that maybe we didn't cover, again, I would encourage you to reach out to us, go to our websites, because we just, you know, there's too many of you right now. If you'll go to the SurveyMonkey link, that would be really helpful. But if you will reach out to us, and again, go to those websites. You can go to GoSocials, you can go to the IRC one. I will post the link to the IRC one here in the next probably 30 minutes and email those all out to everyone, all the other presenters, so they can put it where they would like. And then, you know, I know we're doing a lot of different webinars. I hope they're helpful. It says, can employers purchase COVID bags if they choose to? At this point, I would say the link is available for everybody, but we really would not, we prefer very much that states, I don't know if we have the capacity to do that. So I would say first, please use it for migrant programs. And then if we do have a minimum of 100 that is required. And so that may make, so a lot of employers are not interested, but I don't know the scale of how many we'll get. And if we get too much, we'll take the link off for them to not be able to order until we catch up. But go ahead and order some if you're interested, and we'll get those together. So thank you all for your time. It says, where can we find the recorded webinar? Right here on the website. If you'll go, all recorded webinars will be over here, plus the GoSoci site. You can check out PI's website, and then Miracore, check it out to go ahead and learn all the resources that they have. I think that a lot of good stuff is going on, and the more we share and the more we work together, the better for all of us. So thank you very much for your time. And again, please reach out to us. We will get the list, but I'm afraid that we might not get everybody back. So in each one of our websites, our contacts are on there. So please reach out to that. So thank you very much for your time, and other presenters, thank you guys so much for being willing and able to put everything together and share it all today.
Thank you. And thanks everyone for participating. Let us know if you have questions or how we can help you.
Perfect.
Hello.
Hello, Barbie.
Hey, Jessica. Wait just a minute. I'm on with Bill.
Okay.
Oh, Bill, here's Jessica.